Ugh. Mm. Doesn't that, isn't that relatable? It's perfect for you. Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize. We're on this journey to listen to Led Zeppelin album 4 from 1971. And I've been working my way through the songs, so go check out the various songs you can also find in my UK playlist. And we're now listening to Going to California. On this journey, just hearing a lot of variety, as I mentioned before, from the heavy rock to heavy on the rhythmic instruments, and then to some more of the medieval times influences and the beautiful influences of the Tolkien novels, to now listening to Going to California. Are you ready to go to California with Led Zeppelin? Here we go. I love this already.
Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drink all my wine. Made up my mind, make a new start, going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that we're all the same.
I like that crescendo in the notes.
Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. Wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains in the canyon start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Watch out. It seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking.
Is Led Zeppelin rapping up in here? Wait a minute. This almost sounds like a rap. I know there was a lot of melody still. There was still elements of singing. But he almost started rapping up in there. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. That was catchy. What a switch. Current thought before I forget it. As I'm listening to this album, I understand why a lot of you from the 70s, 80s, 60s even sometimes criticize modern day music for a lack of musical components. Because when I listen to some of these modern day songs and their 3 chords and their beat, that is light years different than the diversity and the variety you have even within the first minute of a song when I'm listening to this. From the various chords to the things he's doing with his voice, that crescendo and the increase that he's bringing in here, the high notes, right? He's not just repeating the same note progression over and over with a little bit of a run. There's really a lot of dynamics here. But even the way that the whole song is shifting in sound, you have a little bit of that echo. You have these electronic elements showing also, I think, Led Zeppelin's contributions to the music industry and pioneering certain sounds. And elements here, it reminded me of some other song that is way more recent that has similarities here naturally, because in music there's only so many notes and chord progressions. But you find these inspirations between various songs and artists. And it's just fascinating how that ripple effect happens. And I think Led Zeppelin just really brings in a lot of unique, I don't want to keep saying diversity, but there's so much going on. It's this journey. And so I understand when some of you say, man, that was music, you know?
Throw me a line if I reach you in time. I'll meet you up there at the PATRON straight.
Huh?
To find a queen without a king, they say she plays guitar and cries and sings. La la la. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never Standing on the hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Ooh, that guitar. My goodness. This has me at the verge of tears. Very, very, very different. Where I was just enjoying and rocking out to going, ooh, wow, so poetic and deep. Here I'm just somberly reflecting at the verge of tears. I don't know who it was that just played that little riff there. Almost felt like a call and response. You had the main guitar, and then you had this finger picking, light and airy type of chord progression that just added so much color to this painting. I don't know if that was Jimmy Page, or if it was John Paul Jones, but I don't know if it was, no, not John Paul Jones is on the bass. I don't know if it was Jimmy Page doing that, but that was just, it added hope, it added lightheartedness, and in light of the fact that what this song is about, that was beautifully added in there. So two things that are mainly on my mind. At first, I thought, wow, this is the perfect track just to talk about going to California. I've never been to California. I'd love to go one day. But when I think of the beach, sunshine, this lightheartedness that you think Californians have, that song perfectly put that into its composition, this feeling of California. You got the guitar, you got the harmonica, you got these feelings of airiness and lightheartedness. The second thought I had was, wow, if we're going to put sunshine and beach sand in a bottle and then try to make that into a song, this would be it. This is the song that feels like you have sunshine in a bottle. So there was a lot of that going on. But then you hear in his voice, again with that vocalizing, as we even saw in Four Sticks, a element of grief, an element of wailing, an element of pain. And so there's this duality between hurt and hope. And when I look at the lyrics, I see that very much so. Spent my days with an unkind woman, with a woman unkind. Smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. Okay, made up my mind to make a new start going to California with an aching heart. So he was with this woman who was unkind, who treated him badly, took all his stuff basically, makes him feel used perhaps, which even when I reacted to the song To Be a Man by Dax, I saw in the comments that many men often feel that way. Underappreciated, not respected, taken advantage of. A lot of hurting men out there. Made up my mind to make a new start. Okay, so there's this decision to move away from what is toxic and unhealthy, which, by the way, men have a right to do too, of course, just as much as women would want to emphasize, I had to break free and, I don't want no scrub, and all these songs that have showcased a desire for women to be independent. Men too need to step away from abuse at times. It can come in many forms. Need to step away from what is toxic, which, I'm sure but I'm throwing that in there as a side note. So he steps away, he makes that decision, he's been used, he's been hurt, going to California with an aching in my heart. So here still we find that suffering. Beyond going, oof, new start, booyah, we see a man who has been hurt, who had dreams and hopes. Well, I'm sure didn't assume life was going to go this way. Now he's going to California, but his heart is hurting, right? When you break up with someone, when you leave someone, when you have to remove yourself from a painful situation, that does not just now mean immediate healing. That doesn't mean because you're going away from what is unhealthy, you're now going to be healthy, or because you're going away from what is bad, you're now good. It still hurts, right? There's a lot of things involved in separation and divorce that affect us beyond just, oh, my dreams are shattered, that tie into our existence and questions of what ifs and whatnot. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. So now we're painting a very contrasting picture to the unkind woman who drank all his wine. A woman now who has love in her eyes. And don't we all long for that? To be looked at, seen by someone, truly seen. Through our eyes, the window of the soul, as they say. With someone that has love in their eyes. Flowers in her hair. So we're painting this picture of a beautiful woman, flowers in her hair, fitting again to the idea of California in my mind, because it makes me think of just lightheartedness, flowers, beach, right? The perfect song for that 70s and 80s era. Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let him tell you that they're all the same, which is funny. Never let him tell you that they're all the same. What does that mean? Not all the jet planes are the same, but maybe a double entendre here. Obviously, not all airplanes are the same, but even still, perhaps also a double entendre to reflect on everyone's journey is different. Everyone's flight in life is going to be different. It's not all the same. Not every story is the same. The sea was red and the sky was gray. Oh, oh, oh. Is that a tie to Four Sticks, the song that just played? Oh, these guys are good. In Four Sticks, I saw a little reference to what it could have been part of Battle of Evermore or Misty Mountain Hop. Now I'm seeing the reference to Four Sticks because that's the song that was talking about this separation, this relationship that says, the sea is turned red and then it turned red dry. I have to go. Like I'm losing my mind. Maybe a reference to that unkind woman that was hurting him. Now saying the sea was red, the sky was great. Everything was gloomy and bad. I was in a bad spot. Wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Ugh, ugh. Doesn't that, isn't that relatable? Isn't that exactly kind of like what we see in Four Sticks? You know, the dream that everyone knows, that everyone has. In the lyrics, we see that because we're all familiar with it, if not in relationship, in any other given situation, from our careers to our relationships with our children or with ourselves, self-love, our bodies, our jobs, our, you name it, where our dreams change or are shattered and they're not what we thought they would be. And so here to say, I thought tomorrow could never follow, tomorrow could ever follow today. Wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. How am I going to ever make it through today? How could anything ever get better? I feel so broken and hurt. Things are so gray and bleak. How could there ever be a better day? The mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. Oh, maybe hear a Misty Mountain Hop reference, right? Where we were speaking of beautiful misty mountains and that place that felt safe and secure, to now mountains that are shaking and trembling. The strongest thing, a mountain that is supposed to be your refuge, a shelter in the storm, the shade from the brutal sun, this mountain that is supposed to be solid rock is shaking. So everything you knew, everything that could be the strongest thing possible is shaking. The children of the sun began to awake. Watch out. Ooh. Seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line. If I reach it in time, I'll meet you up there where the path runs straight and high. Oh my gosh. So deep. The wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose. And it started to flow, which would make me think if a nose starts flowing, there's blood, and that may be a tie to how the rivers ran red. But to say the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose, is that punch on the nose that we're experiencing in life a result of the wrath of the gods, or is him saying the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose, him saying the gods got punished? You know, I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line. Okay, so there's complete despair here, complete sadness. If I reach it in time, it's not even sure that I'm going to manage to reach that line I'm asking you to throw me. I'll meet you up there where the path runs straight and high. Okay, so if I reach it in time, that line, I'm going to see you in heaven, perhaps, right? That straight line, straight and high. To find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings. And then he goes, la, la, la. That was kind of cute. To find a queen without a king, right? Hopefully someone that's single that doesn't have a king yet, so he can be her king. They say she plays guitar, cries, and sings. Beautiful. Sounds like someone who is relatable, perhaps. Singing, crying, playing guitar. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn. Oh, so this is painting just this beautiful mythological picture of this woman, this queen on a white horse, trying to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. Oh, dang. Okay. And what does that mean? Is this his way of saying she doesn't exist? And again, also hear the repetition, never, 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 and hard, hard, hard at the end. Poetic, right? Literary art happening here. But to find a woman who's never been born, as in someone that doesn't exist, she doesn't exist, or perhaps never been born in the sense of she hasn't caused anybody any pain, because the second a woman is born, she'll hurt somebody, right? Is that a reflection on that? And I know that there's people that feel that way. Women towards men, men towards women, people towards people, where we have been hurt and we go, all men are like this, all women are like that. So a woman that's never been born would never perhaps cause him trouble and heartache. Standing on a hill in my mountain of dreams. So it's not real, is it? Telling myself it's not as hard as it seems. Trying to encourage himself, perhaps. Hey, never, never, never. If this woman would have never been born, and hard. It's not as hard as it seems. Trying to encourage himself. It's not. You're going to be okay. And then ending again with that vocalization, the ahs. Less intense from an emotional standpoint in the sense of chaos and aggression. That's what I got from Four Sticks. A lot of turmoil and the intensity of a breakup, the intensity of the suffering. And here, stronger on the grief and the sadness. And it's just crazy how incredible that they're conveying this to the point that I am almost at the verge of tears because there's so much emotion within the song. And that's phenomenal. All right, guys, we're almost at the end of this whole album, which is crazy. This is my very first full album reaction, by the way. So I hope you've been enjoying this ride. The last one that's coming is When the Levee Breaks. Subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!